Hi, RD Barry here. Welcome to episode 66A in my Let's Play of Final Fantasy XII. So, the plan for this episode and the next one is to do a couple of rare games. These will both be in the Tomb of Raithwall. That's why we're starting here. Off screen, I was kind of playing ahead a little bit and checking the upcoming rare game, and we are really behind. Or at least I am. I don't know about anybody else, but we are really very behind because a lot of these I can do without. They're basically not the challenge that they're meant to be. And so if I do another playthrough, I will do those earlier, but meanwhile we're kind of playing catch up here, getting through the list here without interrupting the main story too much. Also, I had I now remember, or at least I think I remember, because it was from a long time ago, what I was missing in that shrine puzzle in the Babbling Vale, and I think there, without giving away too much, there is when you trigger something kind of a fairly far on, further on, a repair crew comes and starts working on those things. So that's how you get them to start working again. So it is the hint they give you is valid, but it's not something that you need to worry about right away. Anyway, so let's get going with the first rare game, and that will be in the well, let's just go there. By the way, I've got Fran and Balthier here in my party because they're the two characters which are still not the same level as the rest of us here. So we're going to take the opportunity to even up the levels a bit here. So the rare game will appear right about here, actually. A case where we don't actually have to go looking for it. But the spawn condition is a little bit tricky. The guides will say, or at least the guide I read said that you have to chain a certain number of enemies, and that is not quite accurate. I think the condition is you have to kill a certain number of the same enemy in a row, which will do a chain as a side effect, but that's not really what you're doing. But you have to chain a certain number of enemies in a row without leaving this zone, so without leaving the Royal Passage here. And there's really only two enemies to choose from here in this area. Those are the Seekers and the I forgot what they're called. The Tallow type. I think they're called Tallows. That sounds like a reasonable guess, at least. And there's more bats than Tallows, so well, that's what I'll call them for the now, anyway. So that's what we have to do, and so we have to set up our gambit so we don't attack the ones that we don't want to attack. So I'm going to do that off screen here. Okay. So I've just I just changed the gambit so they would only attack Earth weak enemies. So and the Talos are not Earth weak, so we will leave them alone. At this point in the game, we are high enough level that we don't. They're occasionally going to cast fire at us or something, but we're relatively unfazed by that. So let's just go in and attack these seekers here. Right, yeah, so we can basically one-shot them here. Actually, you know what? Instead of... let's have it so we're both using range, or not ranged weapons, but non-ranged weapons. Since we do have a choice here. See, the problem with ranged weapons and bats is you'd think they'd be natural, but the problem is we keep on shooting them out of the air, and then when they drop, I don't think they ever drop anything if that happens, because the drop just sort of lands somewhere below. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. Yeah, they were called Talos. What do you know? Yeah, so you want to leave those alone. So I've got my gambit set up so they do not attack everybody. They just attack the so yeah, we're getting hit by fire occasionally here, but that's not doing a whole lot of damage, and their physical damage is not doing anything. So, okay. Oh, he got oiled. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. I think even oiled, the fire would not do a whole lot of damage. I mean, it's like 3 times 0 is still 0, pretty much. Alright, let's go to the other side. The bats will respawn by the time we get back to here, or back to this side again. Again, I'm not totally sure what the actual count needed is, but if we just keep on going back and forth, we should see the rare game there in the middle when we've reached that number. Meanwhile, the Talos, once they've spawned, they will not despawn, so we'll just have to keep they will be annoying, but we're just gonna have to live with them. Oh, I did play around with Bosch's invisibility spell again, the vanish spell. Yeah, I don't know if I really got it right when I described what that actually does. I think a lot of enemies have more than one way to sense enemies. It's just that they use vision. The vision has a longer range. So the mistake I made was thinking that I could just like run right, past their noses and they wouldn't notice, and I don't think that's a thing. All it does is it makes it less likely that they will detect you at a longer distance than they or at the distance that they normally would. But does it make you undetectable? No, that's not a thing. Okay, I don't know how many more passes we're going to have to make, but apparently at least one more. Let's see, we've got 12 now. Seekers, by the way, nothing to do with Harry Potter. Also, nothing to do with the 1960s British folk rock group. Believe it or not. You know, how many ways is Seeker gonna show up in the culture? Well, if we continue this too long, the bats are just gonna disappear completely, or we're just gonna run out of them. But hopefully, that will not be an issue. Oh, there he is. Okay. So let's just bring out someone at random here. Let's bring up Penelo, since she's a healer and Ash is already has one level too high already. I believe, let's see, that guy is weak to wind. Not that we will use it or need it, but that's what I discovered on my practice run here. Oh, I need to change my gambits here. Yeah. Oh, right. Balthier, you're actually not helping here. Yeah, your obelisk is, for some reason doing, or healing. It's not an elemental weapon. We'll have to get you a different weapon here. I mean, do I need to check that? Wait a second. Somebody is healing. No? Oh, that's right. Gaia Rod. Right. Gaia Rod is earth-based. And so this enemy absorbs earth damage instead of being damaged by it. So let's give her a different rod for a change. Not the healing rod. Let's try this one, the serpent rod. Okay, hopefully that'll... Yeah, I think that's working better. Okay. Alright, so that was Barmuu. I will come back next time with the next rare game in this area. Just need to head up to the nearest save point and save my progress here. that's going to be a lot trickier because the spawn condition is a lot harder to implement, especially when it's probably easier when we were a lower level, so we had to kind of carefully adjust our attacks so we don't one-shot enemies, but we don't want to adjust them too much so we can't defeat them at all. So that's going to take a little bit of trial and error. When I did a practice run of that one, it took a lot of trial and error. And anyway, so that will be for next time. Hope you'll join me for that. And until then, bye.